Today, we talked a lot about pi. We learned about our circle, and we learned that our circle has a center, it has a radius, it has a diameter, and then the part that goes all the way around it is your circumference. So that is what we learned about yesterday. We also learned that radius is half of diameter. We learned that diameter is double the radius. And the really big thing that we learned yesterday is that circumference equals pi. Oh, I'm so sorry. That is not what we learned yesterday. We learned that pi equals circumference divided by diameter. So, here's what we're going to talk about today. Today, we are talking about circumference. And remember, circumference is the distance around your circle. It's the perimeter. So, in the last video you just watched, you watched the circle unroll and you watched it create pi. And we learned that pi equals 3.14-ish diameters. So if I were to unroll this circle, I would see that I have 1 diameter, 2 diameters, 3 diameters, and then a 0.14 diameter. And that's where pi comes from. So now we talk about circumference. So we know that the circumference is 3.14 diameters, or circumference equals pi times diameter, or circumference equals 3.14 times diameter. And remember, your diameter goes all the way across your circle. So this right here is diameter. Now, you're not always going to be given your diameter. Sometimes you're going to be given your radius. Now, remember, your radius is half of your diameter. So, if we were to be given the radius, what we could do is we could say that we have 2 times pi times radius. Circumference equals 2 times 3.14 times your radius, because there are 2 radiuses in 1 diameter. So our formulas that we have is circumference equals 2 times pi times radius, or we have circumference equals pi times diameter. And remember, pi always equals 3.14. Okay, so taking a look at this right here, is this a circumference? Is this a diameter or a radius? This is a diameter. I have 2 circumference formulas. I have circumference equals 2 times pi times radius, and I have circumference equals pi times diameter. The one I'm going to use is circumference equals pi times diameter. So circumference equals 3.14 times 4. And I'm just going to quickly do this on a calculator for it. And that gives us that circumference equals 12.56. And this right here is measured in centimeters, so our circumference is measured in centimeters. So if you're given a diameter, all you have to do is multiply it times 3.14. Now this one says, find the circumference of a circle with a radius of 9 inches. So remember, for our radius, we have circumference equals 2 times pi times radius. Or, in this case, C, or circumference, equals 2 times 3.14 times your radius, which is 9. I'm going to type all that into my calculator. and we get that circumference equals 56.52, and it does say inches, so our circumference is in inches. This right here is a what? Diameter or a radius? This is a diameter. So we'll use which formula? We'll use circumference equals pi times diameter, or circumference equals 3.14 times 16, which gives us 50.24 meters. Next up, it's telling us to find the circumference of this. This is a radius or a diameter? This is a radius. So what formula are we using? Circumference equals 2 times pi times radius, or circumference equals 2 times 3.14 times 3.5, which is going to give us 21.98 inches. And the last thing that we have right here, and we're not going to use that pi equals 22/7, we'll use pi equals 3.14. Is this 14 meters a diameter or a radius? It is a diameter. So what formula does that mean we're using? That means that we're using circumference equals pi times diameter, or circumference equals 3.14 times 14. Which gives us 43.96. All right, and that's it. That's your lesson for today. It's just talking about how to find circumference, okay? All right.